Hello.
My voice just cracked. I'm sorry. How are you today? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. So far, so good. Just starting.
Nice. Well, welcome everybody to the Commentary Zone Noontime Edition. On the docket today, we have the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 6, Episode 18, Reunion Part 1. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And tell a friend. Join us in the live chat or on our replay crew. And you can also see the simulcast on the Twitter. Oh my God. All right. So, what'd you think about this first part of 4 parts?
It was
Of a,
solid. I wasn't mad at it, to be completely honest.
hmm.
I wasn't upset. It was definitely a slow start. It's 4 parts, so and that's the thing with these reunions. Um, when you make them 4 parts like this, I don't expect anything until maybe midway of part two, because you
Mm-hmm.
can't give us anything in the first part. That's just what it is. It's just a warm up. This is just basically a long trailer.
It also felt in parts they were trying to recap and close off or make up for unfinished business from last reunion, from last season.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. I'm neither here nor there with it. I'm really not. I was interested in the tax situation. Um, oops. I just couldn't help but giggle at that because the way how she made fun of Karen and Ray when they had their tax issues, and now she might be part of Jamal's tax issues.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. I understand why she's talking about they're good. Like, no, like if you file together, then you're not. That's the
Mm.
thing. If you file together, if they file together, um, in 2008,
2008, yeah.
yeah, you're liable because you filed together. That's why I understand why she wasn't understanding.
Well, don't you think Giselle just does that? I don't think it's an issue of her not understanding. I think she just ignores what anyone says to her as a way of not having to deal with anything. She doesn't rebut, she doesn't explain. She just like she said, I don't care. And
And
it's
it's just
kind
so
of
weird.
deflating for me as a viewer because I would like to hear what you have to say about it, other than I don't care, or that has nothing to do with me. I bought my house, or whatever it was she said, or her taxes were paid, or something. I don't know. Expand on it. Just saying. Or
Yeah,
maybe
like,
it's just me. Maybe I want too much.
no, I think it's just you want to hear people's thoughts and what they're going through and how they're navigating this, because that has to be a scary. That's 800 grand, and I'm not sure if it's 800 grand like just the taxes themselves, or is it 800 grand including the interest.
I think it might be over several years. So 2008, the year that she was still married to him, might be a small percentage, but still, that's a lot of money that you could use towards your children's college funds. To help finish off Giselle Hotel. Other things that are more important to you as a single mom now than having to make up for the both of you's issues from over a decade ago. Um, what else? Where do you want to start? You drive this stupid bus today.
I think with this one is character.
Oh,
It's about character. I think she's go character by character because it's easier
yeah,
with the reunions.
yeah. You start. You start. Hello,
Um,
everybody in the chat, and thank you, Stephen.
let's start with Robin. Actually, let's start with the fashions. So is it me, or do they look so much better actually on TV than in the photos? I felt the photos didn't do them justice.
Yes, like when it comes to these reunions, I think the stylists need to take images and video of the dress standing up and sitting down to see how it plays. And everybody looks wonderful sitting down. Some of them standing up.
Yeah, I was like they look really good when they looked really good um on the TV. I'm like, oh, the photos didn't do them any kind of justice. The photos actually washed the color out.
Did you see the pictures where they had the green ivy background?
I want to say yes.
Those images are much better.
Okay, I don't think I saw those then. I'll have to go look for
I can
those.
send you to them. I can send you them later. But a solid background of like a bold green, and it's green like ivy something. All of them took second pictures with this background, and the color, the pinks, no matter what the shade, are very photogenic. But with that solid background and not all of the other distractions of the initial pictures that we saw, the dresses really popped. Even Robin's.
Yeah, Robin looked good on TV.
Yeah, and that's a blush that she's wearing. That still falls into the pink family,
Right.
and I still stand by it. I like that color. And yeah, guys, I did wear pink in honor of today. That and the fact that it was clean and freshly laundered. So it was right on the top of the folded clothes. Um Let me ask you a question. Do you feel that Giselle doesn't bother to answer because she's so used to her enforcer Robin always picking up and defending her?
Yeah,
She doesn't really have to say anything because she know Robin gonna do it.
of course. I got Robin still here. We saved her for another season, so I'm cool.
God
But
Almighty.
but I do want to start with Robin because like,
Mm.
did you notice how Andy spoke spoke to her when he was saying hello? He was saying hello to all the ladies. He's like, "Oh, hi, Robin." I was like, "Oh, that
Yeah,
was
as an
dry."
afterthought.
Yeah.
She was an afterthought. And
Oh,
then Robin got in her feelings because she felt that Wendy was interjecting in everybody's business. But I think that's why we have a reunion, so that all
right.
y'all can say whatever y'all got to say and wrap this up, you know? Um, Robin, don't feel bad that Wendy has a seat next to Andy and you've never had it in 6 years. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Never. And
Out
never will.
for running interference. Oh, Trey says, I'm surprised no one called Robin out for running interference on Giselle yet.
Well, Karen
Ooh.
did it in a shady way when she said this is the good thing about mine and Mia's relationship. Because like Mia's a grown woman, Mia's gonna do Mia, Karen's gonna be Karen, and our friendship is not codependent of each other.
But I think that flew over a lot of people's heads.
I think it did too, but I caught that.
Mm-hmm.
But they were good.
Um,
But they could. I thought people would catch it because Giselle was just talking about how she felt Karen was in Mia's ear.
mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
figured that people would catch that right away. I'm like, oh, all right, Karen.
But that's why Karen says that she feels that her and Giselle are the best at doing the shade thing. It's intellectual. It's dirty, but it's intellectual. You have
Right.
to really you probably don't catch it until 30 minutes afterwards and you go, "Wait, that bitch insulted me."
Pretty much.
But I mean, Robin didn't really have much in
Nope.
this episode other than the I think it was two times she came to Giselle's defense on something.
Hmm.
Um I like the dress though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So we
about
can
it.
go on to Ashley Barbie's Darby. Darby's Barbie. She's so cute, and she got that body back so quick. I'm now mad at her.
Well,
I'm not mad.
she got all of Monique's glam squad from season 5 reunion, from the designer to the hair to the makeup, everything. She got the whole squad together to put her together. And I think this was an opportunity for her to come out and say, "Bitch, I'm not wide. I might got a big forehead, but I'm not wide." and I got 2 kids, you know?
She's like, I
So
got two
she
kids.
looked,
What's your excuse?
yeah, she looked amazing.
I'm just
She
like,
really did.
I was like, she came in. I'm not gonna even play with y'all. I was like,
Hmm.
Ashley, you better let them know how to get it done.
Let's just call a thing, though. Ashley has been coming to these reunions looking like crap. Like
Well,
last one, she had the rainbow bat wings.
she was pregnant, so I kind of gave her a
No,
slight pass on that one.
no, no. Because Monique, when she was pregnant and came to the reunion, she was looking fierce.
True.
Sorry. I don't know. Don't use pregnancy as an excuse to show up looking god awful with wings.
The wings were bad. She could have gone with the dress and been fine.
No, because it just didn't look finished. The slit, it was just raw cut. I didn't see a hem. It was just weird.
Okay. I'm gonna give you that. Ashley, I tried to help you last season, but you sure didn't need my help this season.
Yeah, she looked really cute. But that's about it. The only thing that she jumped in and said was, we've both got 5 heads to Candace, and that Candace does hit below the belt when she's going at people. Um, did she
Yeah,
say anything else?
no.
Interesting.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
And then let's see. So we have Ashley, we got Robin. Let's go to Escala as the friend. It was nice to see her on the couch
She came in very early though.
very early.
That
But
that that says a lot. They must be happy with her what she produced this season.
she's probably the fan favorite. So and
Oh.
plus remember she was in the mix. Like she wasn't the typical friend. She was
Uh-huh.
in the mix. She was
You
giving her
mean
opinion
because
like from the
she
gate.
said stuff?
Yeah, but she was giving like she had an opinion though. Like when they were at Karen's house, like we didn't know a scholar. We had just met her, but she has something to say. Like, look, this is a mess.
I forgot about when she asked Karen about if she had a drinking problem. Like that was so early in the season, I completely forgot about that. That was
Same.
funny.
And then she's all like, well, she's all like, I'm a direct person. Like, if I have something to say, I'm gonna just say it to you face to face. She's all, was it the best timing? No. And she just kept it moving. She's all like, look, best timing, no, but I asked what I asked. At least I did to her face.
But I
No.
think people can appreciate that in
Yeah.
her. Because even though she might have asked like an inconvenient question at an inconvenient time, she still is not biased. She's very much even on calling out anybody based on her morals, you know?
Right.
And did you feel that that was appropriate? And she doesn't do it in a high-handed way. She just asks basic questions like when she was talking to Robin when they were on the boat at Chesapeake, yeah,
Yeah.
and she was trying to get to the issue between Robin and Wendy. She asked really good questions. I think questions that we would have asked. Um,
I think for her, she said, "Look, it's out there.
mhm,
Y'all not trying to address it, so I will." And I'm kind of the same person. Like
mhm.
I like to let people work out their differences, but when it gets to a point where no one's saying anything that needs to be, I'm like, "Look, here's the situation. This is how I see it. Boom, 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 boom. Where do we go from
Mhm.
here?"
Yeah, and
That's how
everybody
I see
did
things.
love her fashions, but she's
Yeah,
more than the fashions. But I did like
well,
that
much
Andy
more.
opened up his questioning with, is there anyone here that you would like to redo? Oh
Oh my
my
goodness.
god, poor Giselle.
Yeah,
She
she's not
just
gonna win.
she just sits in it and she doesn't care.
Nope.
At this point, she just does it on purpose, I think.
No, that's how she really dresses.
Oh Lord. Okay, so anything else with a scholar?
No. Mm-mm.
Um, okay, so Black Lavender said they couldn't wait to ask questions to see if Mia was an escort, a stripper, or exotic dancer. Good Lord. Well, we'll get to that when we get to Mia, because she was heavy in this episode. Her, Candace, and
Can
Giselle.
Yeah, Giselle. So we can
Karen
go to
was
Karen.
chiming in.
We can go to Karen next.
Yeah. hmm
Karen is just
Um,
Karen is just Karen.
she is. She was trying to get some quips in there. She tried to defend Dorothy, and she kind of got pushed to the side. But she did give very good advice regarding Giselle and the tax issue. And
Hmm.
then she also spoke upon, was it in this episode where she talked about Giselle went back to Jamal because he was something uh
Familiar.
familiar, and she didn't want to take the time or the effort to get into a new romance.
Right.
Yeah. I thought those were fair assessments.
Agreed. It
Hey,
was.
Katie.
But then, and what was regarding Giselle's fashion, when she said, "Look, there is not going to be any improvement. It's gonna just gonna be consistent."
Flatline.
I was like, damn, really? That's all we're gonna get. He's all. She's all. Let's go. Keep moving.
hmm she had a few good little moments in this episode. I hope to see more from Karen.
Oh yeah, we know we're gonna hear some more about Karen, but this was like she was just this was her episode just to chime in with some some sound advice, some a few
hmm
little quips, like you said, very good. But I have some she'll be featured heavily in the next packages.
So, do you think Karen is correct when she says that her and Giselle are the best at throwing shade?
Yes, because what shade is it's a sly insult wrapped. It's the truth wrapped in an insult basically. But it's a sly insult. Shade should not be that obvious unless you're just used to it. The difference is Candace just insults, and there's no thought behind it. They're just like who in their mid 30s says your mama, and that's like the only thing you have,
I've
which is
never
different.
been one to say your mama because I grew up in an area where your mama could get you like killed.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Same thing. Where I grew up, you could talk about a daddy all day long, like fine, whatever. But you talk about mama, you're probably gonna get jumped. Oh, Trey, yeah. See, here's the thing though. Dr. Heavenly does, but Heavenly can shade with the best of them. Let's not play pretend on that one. Candace Heavenly's not always she's not gutter insults. Heavenly can shade. Can't Candace can't shade. Come on now.
Well,
Mm-mm.
the women have spoken to Heavenly regarding that Yo Mama
Yo
thing.
mama
She's cut back on it because
a
there was
lot.
one season where everything was Yo Mama. And I was just like, really? Let's use your words.
Right, and then she started using them because they talked to her about that. But see, Heavenly took it in. Heavenly took that in.
Mhm.
Candace, like she keeps saying your mama. I'm like, really? You gonna get hurt. And um when we get to this, but when Giselle told her based on what I heard and what you said, if Mia had clocked you, I just been like, okay, and that says a lot.
So, but I was confused by that statement. So she could understand if someone got physical with Candace or anyone this year because of the Yo Mama thing. But last year, she couldn't understand someone getting physical over what happened. Was that because she was directly involved in instigating that fight last year, or what's the
It's
turnaround
because
this year?
let's remember before I think it was either last I think it was the reunion last season or maybe it was the very I want to say it was the very beginning of this season. They said that they hoped that Kansas learned from last year This was it was the beginning of this very
Mm-hmm.
beginning of this season. They said, you know what Candace went through last year, we hope to see growth out of her, so that we never have to go through that again. But Kansas did the same thing as last year, and I think at this point they're fed up. They're fed up with her, and I'm gonna jump ahead. They've already chosen their target for next season if Candace comes back
You
because
think that
they.
Candace will be the target?
Oh yeah, because no one was on her side. It was all crickets. You got to look at that. It was no one was on her side in that situation because they probably talked to her off camera, said, look, you cannot do this. You got your behind beat last year for your mouth. Your mouth is reckless. You know what? You thought you couldn't catch no hands and you caught them. You need to be mindful. You're too old for this. And she did the same exact thing. I mean, she was okay at the beginning, but except for when it came to Ashley. But Ashley's not trying to mess up her baby nups or her prenup. She's securing the bag, so she ain't got time for that. So then Mia comes along and she antagonizes Mia, and the same thing. You want to pick on somebody who doesn't mind whooping your ass, and that's why they all are against her on this one because like you haven't. Basically what they're telling her, you haven't learned a thing. There's no growth.
Or you achieved the goal of last year of getting rid of the woman that they wanted off of the cast. We're just not going to back you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Stephen, you haven't watched regularly? Wow. But thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. It brought down the franchise. Okay, so Stephen thought that it brought down the violence, brought down the franchise.
That's not fair, and here's why. There's been violence on New York, if I'm not mistaken. Is it New York?
Jersey.
Jersey, thank you.
Jersey.
There's been
Yeah.
violence on Jersey. There's been light violence on Beverly Hills,
Miami.
Miami.
They
Uh,
swung.
who
Who
else?
else?
Anything on Atlanta?
A wig
Atlanta,
shift. A wig shift.
Atlanta, and then when Apollo tackled Brandon at Nene's party,
Oh yes, yes. Well, and there was a threat from Candy. I'm gonna
right?
drag you this bitch.
Yes. So that's not
Yes,
fair to
yes.
say that's not fair when you say violence brought down this particular franchise.
Okay, so did you see this? Because it
No.
was a picture side by side, and basically it had Candace without a wig, and
Mm-hmm.
then what's your name, Ashley, with her hair pulled back. And I did think that Ashley's forehead was marginally bigger because of the sides, but honestly, from here to here, it's about the same. I saw it, but I can't remember who posted it. But I think this is it. It was petty, but it gave me a chuckle. It gave me a chuckle. Okay, so Steven says, I jump in and watch when y'all say it's good. I expected it from Jersey. Oof. Is it bad that I agree with that? I expected it from Jersey.
uh, that doesn't say much for Jersey, but
Well, it's just because I grew up in the vicinity of the tri-state area, so you just know you know the people. Actually, like if that's all we got in the first season was the table flip, and
right.
then a couple seasons later with the two guys fighting, if that's all we've had in all these years from Jersey, that's tame. It what y'all like go look at the picture on the sides. It is a little bit further back on Ashley.
Where is it though? Is it the shade room? I'm looking at their page
Hold
now.
on. Did you, the Bravo Shade Room is what
The
Trey is
bro,
saying.
the Bravo
Yeah.
shade room. I went to the shade room. Sorry.
Yes, Mob Wives was fabulous. Oh my God.
Okay, give me two
Oh,
seconds.
rest in peace, Big Ange. Oh, I miss her. Um, yeah, when Giselle said that comment, if she had clocked you, I'd have been like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
This
see,
one?
from top to bottom, yes, from top to bottom, it's not that much difference. Where there's difference is on the sides. But let's just go from top to bottom. Girl, both of y'all had 5 heads, just like how Ashley
Right.
said.
Now Ashley's hair, well, it is Ashley's hairline sits back a little bit further.
It does. It
Barely,
does.
barely.
But you see, the difference is that Ashley's hairline is pushed back from
Yeah,
top through the
yeah,
sides,
yep.
whereas Candace's comes forward at the temples.
Right.
So I mean, child, it's just genetics. But I think that they're relatively close.
I agree. If
And yes, it
anything,
was petty.
if anything, Kansas maybe slightly. Let me look. Yeah, they're pretty much the same. So yeah, she need to let that go. This photo, we have photo evidence that what you said was a lie.
Yeah. I think Candace was judging it based on the wig that she had on
Right.
for the show, which was pulled down a lot based on her natural hairline.
Hmm.
That wig was like she almost had a Teresa hairline with that wig.
Right.
Um, oh, good Lord. Wait. Check out the group chat. Oh wait, Jersey did have the water in the face and the ponytail snatch with Margaret and Danielle. Oof. Oh, and with that girl's daughter,
Jacqueline's
Jacqueline's daughter, and somebody else,
Danielle.
Danielle. Oh, jeez. Trey says check the group chat.
I
I
did.
fell over laughing. Aw, Big Inch, RIP for me. Okay, so for me, when the Potomac ladies fought, it was too serious, scary. Monique was frightening to me. Erica level scared.
I think
But
what it is for me,
quite
from where I come from,
honestly, when you get
Monique.
into a fight,
Yeah.
yeah, you at points she was on a rampage
Hmm.
and it carried on for far too long after the initial altercation, running around the building. But she was mad. It was building.
Yeah, I remember last season where Monique was pregnant. She said she would drag Candace.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone already threatens to put hands on you, you leave them alone. You don't pick at the
Yeah.
person who's threatening to whoop you behind. You just don't. And Monique was no longer pregnant. Candace kept going. Candace got what she asked for, and she was mad. And everyone was on her side because Monique shouldn't have done that. Agreed. But this season, what they're saying is, if based on what Candace has said, they talked to her. You know, she's not listening. They're like, we're over this. This is not good. And they're what they've seen now. They're like, you know what? Was Monique wrong in the situation? Yes, but can we now see um her point of view? Yes, because what they've done this year with no Monique there, they don't have an excuse. Because we have to remember they didn't like Monique last year anyway. So they were going to side with Candace just off of pure bias. And that's what people need to understand. They went in against Monique purely off bias, not other situation. But now they're getting to know Mia. Mia really hasn't done anything to Candace. They just met and you're exhibiting the same behavior you did with Monique, with whom you had history and who you had a friendship with, a deep friendship with. You're treating
Mm-hmm.
them the same, so your reactions are disproportionate to the situation. So therefore, they're like, we can no longer back you on this behavior because you show no growth. It's the same behavior. You're deflecting, making excuses. This is at this point, they're like, no, 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 no. This is now. This is on you. Now we see this is you.
Honestly, I think I've mentioned this to you with like how she speaks with her husband. That's not healthy. Like I don't think she know like she said, I'm an orator and I can do this so much better than everyone else and I
Not
take
even
flack for this. But I don't think she understands how to have a healthy debate and
correct.
voice your opinion without losing it.
Right. Because what people, at least the way I do, and I get into verbal altercations, which is rare. Um, the best thing you could do to someone is to disarm them. Is to be like, okay, like you have a point. I can see where you're coming from. I appreciate the feedback, and that's the easiest way to disarm. Cause what that does, it makes them so mad because what people like Candace want that reaction, but they want a mad reaction. They don't want an intelligent reaction. Like if that's why if you notice, Candace never verbally spars with Wendy because she would lose. She knows she can't get to Wendy because Wendy's just gonna keep it together. She is the professor, and all she do is go like Candace sit there and rant like a 12-year-old while
Mm-hmm.
she just sits there being the professor that she is.
Child, I love that little clip of her going, Mia don't know the rat-a-tat-tat.
Right.
um, wait, I had a question for you. But I done forgot it. Oh, damn. Okay, go on. I'll remember it, hopefully.
hmm
Um, what else were we talking about?
So we were talking about basically we were talking we kind of put Candace and Mia together since their packages are kind of intertwined in this particular situation.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take Mia on her own real quick. So I
Uh-huh.
did not know that G helped build the whatchamacallit, the the VIP room at the club she worked at. I thought that was kind of cool actually.
That he helped to build a
He,
VIP
he
room.
built I thought it was very interesting.
It seems he donates to a lot of charities.
Hey,
I don't
and that's
know.
what you do though. He's like I probably was one of the probably the founding VIP member and he recruited other guys to come in.
But this strip club, though, it had a spa, it had shoe shine, it had a full 5-star
Yeah,
Michelin gourmet
yeah. Have
restaurant.
you not heard of these? Okay. No, I've heard of these clubs. So what they are is what and Mia's correct when she's saying this. And um these are not strip clubs, these are actually gentlemen's clubs. And for the most part, the way they work is it's a membership based club.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go in and it's those places don't have, like she said, they don't have any like the main thing there are no enclosed areas. There are
Mm-hmm.
no enclosed areas open to the public. Um, and they do so. The one of the ones I do know of that I know people who are members of, they have the they don't have massage. They don't have anything that needs an enclosed space, but they do have like the cigar lounges. They have the bar, the restaurant. They have like high end stuff. Shoe shine, yes. Coat check, yes. And they do have entertainment. Now, the entertainment, and I know in one of the places, I know a couple people who are members of a couple places. They're not that, how can I put this? They're not that talked about. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that she is talking about this. And the entertainment, some of them do have like the strippers, and they literally, like Mia said, they literally just drop the count and they walk. Yeah, Steven's right. They are gentlemen's clubs. Yeah, and if you're a
Mm.
member, typically if you're a member of them, you generally don't say anything unless someone asks you, like, hey, like, where's a cool place to go to hang out? and then you would let them know like, hey, this is my club. You know, you're welcome to come with me. Hmm.
Okay.
When she said, I was like, you just dropped. I just dropped the gown. It was good to go. I was like, I'm not mad at you,
Like a
Steven.
geisha thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm. Because
Mm-mm-mm.
what the rules are is that when you work for the gentleman's club, you know, no sexual activity on the premises. Now, what you do outside of said premises, when you then swiped out, is what you do.
It's just a private strip club. Yeah, I guess with
That's
annual membership.
right.
Yeah. And I think with the annual membership, it goes from stripping to entertaining.
Hmm. But remember, she got promoted though. Remember, she was just serving drinks when she first got there. She got a
Like
promotion.
bartender
Bartender,
to
right?
entertainer.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I find some inconsistencies with Mia's stories, but anywho, I did like when Candace and Wendy said to her with regards to Mia blame like placing the blame on Candace should her mother relapse. I like that they addressed that and put their foot down and said, no, that's not on me. That's on you and your mom. You brought your mom onto this platform. I agree with that. I think that's a lot to put on Candace or anyone else. And if your mom is not at that place where she can handle this in her
Right.
sobriety journey, then you shouldn't have brought her on.
Correct. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, let her be a little bit longer and let her get a little bit more involved in your life so that then you can say how y'all rebuilt your relationship.
I think the mother should not have been brought on to season two. Like work on your relationship first.
And
And
relationship with the entire family.
right. If we happen to see your mom on the show, great. But she shouldn't have been a focal point, in my opinion.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, I'm still trying to remember that question that I had for you, and I can't. God, I'm so old.
But I do like Mia's openness, though. I appreciated it.
Yes, but they asked her about the flip flopping, and she's like, "Oh, um, I say what I feel in the moment." Er?
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I will put it this way. When she said that, I was like, But do I know people like that? Yes. Like one day they're friends and the next day they're not, and it's like really, and it's hard to keep up. So I decided not to. Ah!
Mm-mm.
I decided not to because it's very confusing because you don't know where people stand,
Mhm.
and this is what comes. This is what happens when you're like that.
Mhm.
People don't know how to take you, and then um, how can I put this and put it properly? People don't know how to take you day to day, and it's exhausting trying to keep up with who someone is friends with day to day. So for someone like me, I just ignore you. I
Mhm.
stop caring.
Um, what did you think about when Andy addressed the Jamal breakup timeline with Giselle and how Wendy kind of pushed the argument on that, bringing up the video from last December? And it made it seem like Giselle's timeline was not quite adding up.
It wasn't. I thought it was hilarious. It was hilarious, and she wasn't wrong. Because Andy like, all right, he did. I was like, Andy, you know you wrong for that. You know you wrong for that. But it was hilarious.
Why was Andy so hell bent on trying to find out whether Giselle has any sort of emotion, if she cried, if she this, if she that? If the relationship wasn't real this time around, why should she feel anything about it?
Oh, because he can't acknowledge that it's a fake storyline. He's playing his part.
Now I remember what I had to ask you. Okay, sorry. When Andy said to Candace with regards to last year and how's that working for you, and then he says something. He was like, "You almost had a physical attack last year." What you mean almost? Like
Right.
what I watched, like there was
Almost.
actual contact. What's
Right.
almost? Did I see that wrong?
You didn't. When we said almost, I'm like, oh, Andy. There's no almost. You can't like pretend like we didn't see what we saw. It's on the footage.
And do you think that he was correct in saying that she's the common denominator and basically it's her fault for getting attacked last year?
Right.
I had so many issues with just that one or two sentences, and it just left my brain. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys, but it I found a Andy what and he was really going in with these ladies, and I think the difference between this reunion and Beverly Hills was that there was actual responses to the questions that were posed.
Hmm.
um but I think he dives deeper and does, like, he goes in with shade on these women, and it was lacking in Beverly Hills, especially with Erica. It's like he shows up with kid gloves and feather down because the Beverly Hills crew is so fragile. And then for Potomac, he just doesn't care.
Like all bets are off.
Yeah. And I think it's very, very evident because we've gone from 4 weeks of Beverly Hills reunion straight into the reunion for Potomac. And in this first episode, I see a marked difference on how he asks his questions and follows up with more questions and holding these women's feet to the fire as opposed to Beverly Hills. I could be wrong, y'all. I could be wrong. Y'all let me know if I'm just reading way too deep into this, because I do go off on tangents. Oh, Farmata. Thank you, Farmata. And thank you, Stephen. Okay. All right. So I it just didn't
But
sit well
it's
with
a start.
me.
It's a stark difference. It's a different. It's a difference of
Yeah.
tone too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, like, with Beverly Hills is a very, to me, is a very surface tone, a very like
Like you're having
fluff, like a little fluff tone.
yeah.
Whereas Potomac, he wants to get to the nitty gritty and the real. And and this may sound weird, but when I look at the Beverly Hills cast, the way he talks to them is more like he's detached, like they're associates, colleagues, versus with the Potomac, he speaks to them as like a good friend would, if that makes sense. Like when you're good friends with someone, you feel like you can say what you want to say and ask questions you really want to know.
Mm-hmm.
He gives me that vibe with them. Like he really talks to them like they're friends. Like, look, I'm trying to help you here. Like with Candace, I know it came off harsh, but I really felt he's trying to give her that tough love. Where in Beverly Hills, I feel like he was very like acquaintance, like, oh, I may see you at the water cooler or something. Because
See,
if you
I
notice,
feel
if
see,
you
I don't
because
think that he's trying to help anybody at Potomac. I feel he's overtly dismissive and reckless in the way how he approaches these women. Whereas with Beverly Hills, he's like, these people, are kind of like my friends, so I'm not going to go too deep on them.
I didn't get friend vibes from him at all. Like for
There is a
me,
difference. Maybe I'm not explaining it right, but I think that it's just.
I mean, the tone is different. No, most definitely, there's definitely a different tone. and he does go in on them, but for me, like I said, like I'm just taking these two reunions and comparing, it comes across I didn't get with him. I didn't get a condescending thing. It was more like he's pointing things out, and I'm not. He's not doing it to all the ladies. He's just doing it to Candace right now, which is what I'm saying. Like, dude, like Candace, he's trying to help you because if you notice how he talked to other little ladies, he was like super respectful, good questions. But with Candace, it was very much like he was chastising a child and trying to get the child to
Mm.
understand where they're going wrong. And
Well,
with Beverly Hills, it was more like he did really go easy on them. I mean, like that really could have been a 90-minute reunion.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, I'm not trying to have y'all subpoena none of this footage because who knows what's on that footage
Right.
on the footage that
Yeah.
hit the floor? Who knows what's on that? We're not really
Yeah.
trying to have you subpoena too others.
Well, Trey says he's never firm with the New Jersey ladies either. Well, that's because Teresa pushed him. She put hands on him in a reunion. We forgot about that. Attacking the host. I'd be scared of them too. Acts like Andy acts like a counseling session for them.
Yes,
Uh, oh, thank you for stopping by. Steven says, "Wow, treats Potomac like children."
Candace though. It's Candace, and that's
Mhm.
what I'm trying to bring back. It's not all the ladies. It's Candace in particular because she's the problem child. And if you notice, that's the way the other ladies are treating her. Is that Candace is a problem child?
Is she the
Because
youngest on this cast?
no, Ashley's the youngest,
It's
I think.
Ashley. Oh Lord.
Because he talked like if you talk, he talks to just everyone on that show with respect, every single one of them. But Candace is the only one of the group who goes outside of the show and causes issues. Like not just issues on the cast, issues with social media. So he's look
Candace
how
was very proud to say, "I'm no longer your social media issue. It's now Mia."
hmm
So now he's got two of them on there.
correct, and they don't like
Good
each
luck.
other.
Good luck.
So yeah, like I understand what everyone's saying about Potomac. They're like, no, look, you can't do that. You gotta look at this, like look at who he's talking to, and in my opinion, he only comes at Candace with the disrespect, and I'm excluding Robin because he just glosses over her.
Like most of us do.
Steven, yes, it's because but Candace is the most exactly. I'm not saying Andy's wrong. What I'm just saying is what people want to say like, oh, Andy treats the Potomac girls like this. No, he treats Candace like this.
Mm.
It's a difference between treating a whole cast one way than treating one singular person who's pretty much the cause of the issue some way.
Mm-mm-mm. Was there anything else? Oh, and at the beginning, we see a clip from like this grainy clip from Nicki Minaj saying that she's not going to be there.
Right.
Great setup. Okay. Anything else happened in this episode?
Let's see. I'm just going back real quick. No. No, but I just thought it was interesting with the clip. Thought it was interesting with the clip where they showed that you remember so you said the Nicki Minaj
Mhm.
clip that they showed, right? I thought it was interesting that afterwards they show the ladies being excited when she shows up, but was got
Mhm.
real defensive real quick when she started asking the questions like, well, when Eddie was following them booty models, I'm looking for her. I'm sorry. Can we
Mm,
fast forward to part four? Because I just want to see what I want to see that.
I got one more thing.
hmm
How did Van Jones get linked up with Giselle? Is he even divorced yet? And why Wendy chiming in saying, no, I don't think Giselle is his type because he likes women with integrity? Explain Kim Kardashian. I mean, huh?
Oh,
Man, why does Van
because
get called for everything?
okay, they divorced in 2020.
Oh, they did finalize the divorce.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that shows how much I'm keeping up with that.
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense though because like it's the Kardashians. Like you just get spillover clout. Just by dating one for a week.
So, do you think that Van was with Giselle? Because he's not, the 34-year-old was a different person.
Right.
And Wendy said that she heard of one commentator in the DC area that was associated or linked to Giselle. But then she also heard about Van, or was the person that Wendy heard was Van? Like, I was so confused during that section.
You know what it was? The way I took it is like she knows the person. She knows the younger person. I thought she knows the younger person because Andy said like, "Oh, did you know him?" And she said yes. Because what you said, I knew the guy she was dating.
And so who brought up Van? Because I think that's where I got sidetracked.
I don't know. I couldn't distinguish the voice.
Damn it.
Like how Andy called, yeah, Steven. Andy gave Danielle so many chances. I really feel that he just felt bad for her. I really think I think he felt bad for her. But then when she started outing him about his shenanigans, that's when he's like, yep, you gotta go.
No, he knew that Danielle made for good ratings.
Well, that too, and he felt bad for her.
Uh-uh. He was just lining his pockets. Uh, oh, thanks, Paranormal. Thanks for popping in. I think that's it. I think we hit everything.
I agree. It was like I said, it was a solid warm up. When I compare it to Beverly Hills Part One, this one wins
Hmm.
because there's actually storylines being talked about.
It's 4 parts. I'm not saying anything until I get deeper in.
No, I'm just judging Part One versus Part One.
Uh,
When you compare the Part Ones, I prefer Potomac.
I can't even remember Beverly Hills Part 1, to
That's
be
it,
honest.
exactly. That's why Potomac wins. Precisely. You prove my point.
Well, I thought mine was due to age.
No, you're completely fine. Because there was nothing in Part One, Part Two, Part
Part 2 and
Three.
3 went severely downhill, and then 4 was a letdown.
Right.
Sorry, Beverly Hills fans.
When you have a letdown from something that's going downhill, that's really bad.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, I know we're about to wrap this up, but I'm looking forward to talking about Salt Lake City.
Oh, that's tomorrow. I have to work on that today. But
Cause,
yeah,
cause,
tomorrow it was good. It was good.
and Jen was just lying the whole. I'm like, really? Here's the thing. I'll start this off now before something to go into tomorrow's stream. Um, she started lying when she told Jenny that it took her hairdresser 2 hours to do her hair. That's a lie. I'm sorry
Yeah.
because Jen's hair is on the finer side, and to get those braids sectioned off so well, if not perfectly, is more than 2 hours.
Let me tell you, the one and only time that I got my hair braided, it was cornrows.
Oof.
And my hair was long like that when I was little. And I sat there for 6 hours, and all they
Yeah,
got was the top of my head
correct.
done, going in straight
Yes.
lines back, not
Mhm.
even intricate things.
Right.
And I was so tired after 6 hours, my hair
Mhm.
half done. I was like, that's okay. You can leave it. And I never braided it again because it was a
Mhm.
knotty mess when I tried to take it out less than a
Mhm.
week later.
Mhm.
And that was without extensions. And I feel that there might have been some extensions with Jen's hair.
No, there were.
Yeah.
Because her hair, her hair in
Her hair
professional
right
is here.
here.
It's like here, but the
Yeah.
braids went further
Were
down.
really long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2
So,
hours. Sorry, cut out
but
here.
I do have to rewatch it again tonight. Just the last part on the motor coach, on the bus. I want to watch Lisa. And I encourage all of y'all to go back and watch Lisa. Lisa, like she knew exactly what was going on. And when Heather said, "Should I call Jen and let her know?" She's like, I wouldn't do that if I was you. I'm calling Stuart. I thought that, and then watch what happens live afterward, Andy asked her about it. And she goes, "I was paying attention." Really? You seem to have a familiarity with this scenario and what to do and what not to do. And Andy said next week's episode is 8 hours on the bus of them talking about what happened and Lisa calling every single one of her attorneys to find out what went down. I cannot wait. I've
Oh,
never
but
been more excited for 8 hours on a bus ever.
you know what struck me though?
That Meredith wasn't there.
No, is the fact that okay, that was the other thing. The first thing is the fact that it was interesting how the camera crew knew to jump on that bus with that camera right at that point in time.
Which point in time?
Oh, right when Jen got that phone call.
I got the impression that they were still testing stuff because there was a guy in there adjusting like either lighting or camera like that was at the top, and
But
then
you have
the handheld guy came on.
right, but she had her mic on,
All of
and you're
them did.
right, and you already have the cameras in there. Why would you need that camera at that particular angle?
I think he had to get in there to see where they were sitting, and then he has to get himself situated to get all of them.
The reason why I understand what you're saying, I disagree. The reason why, because when he jumped on that motor coach, he had the camera ready pointing at Jen. There was no, it wasn't like he was trying to set up and adjust. He jumped on and went boom. That's what struck me.
See, that's why I have to go back and rewatch it because I was so focused on Lisa.
I've never seen that before. It's like I'm like, well, what are you doing? Like, why are you jumping on the? And because he jumped on that
Wait,
coach,
let
and
me
you could
ask you a
see him.
question. Was that when did he jump on that coach when Jen said turn off my mic to Whitney? Was
It
it
was
before or
before.
after? It was
It was when
before
she got that
when
call.
she got the call.
I'm pretty. Rewatch it. Let me
Maybe
know.
he
I'm pretty
jumped
positive.
on because she didn't put it on speakerphone like how they supposed to. All of their calls are supposed to be on speakerphone
Right,
while they're filming.
but it was when she got the yeah, but he jumped. I know you're gonna rewatch it. I probably have to rewatch it too, but I'm just
Mhm.
saying it seems like he jumped on right as she got the call. Like it was like before she got the call
I'm
because
gonna
she
watch it
got the call
again
because she
because
got the call, started talking, and then asked Whitney to turn off her pack. I think that's the way it happened. I could be wrong, but it was
but it would make sense because he did follow her outside when she was in the parking lot having that conversation. Remember? And she was on the phone and she could hardly say anything because although the mic pack was off, the camera was there rolling.
right.
So maybe that's it. Again, I was focused on Lisa. I really was. Oh my
I
god.
know. So was I.
In business were indicted in 2012, kind of a heads up. Ooh. And oh Lord, and that segment where her and Stewart talking about loyalty. Child,
Mhm.
if he had already turned on her and was then having that conversation,
Mhm.
Stewart, you a mess.
That was a whole. Cause, and Lisa was just so calm too. Everyone else was like, "What's going on? What are we doing? Is this a joke?" And Lisa was sitting like, okay.
Poor
Mhm.
Whitney was like, is this a prank?
Right. What does HSI mean?
I
Homeland
know.
Security Investigation.
And NYPD, like everybody was just chirping, like, and Lisa was there watching.
Right.
Watching. Child, I scared of Lisa.
And I
I
want to
scared
know
of
who Lisa
Lisa.
was. I want to know who Lisa was texting. Because I want to know if she was texting Meredith like, okay, it's going down.
Oh my
Because
God.
you're not gonna sit there and tell me that all this is happening around you, and you're not gonna let Meredith know.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to let Meredith know, like, hey, we're running behind schedule. Just saying.
Mm-mm-mm.
It was good though.
Anywho, yeah, it was. I can't wait for next week. And I think that they placed that, like, this is one time that I'm not upset at how they placed it, because they gave us the entire scene at the
Yes.
end, which leads really well into, if all next week is the bus ride, 8 hours.
Right.
Um, they did it right. This is the first time that I don't feel like I got the okey doke. Why he was even shot. Cameron, the friend, told her. Wait. Cameron, the friend, told her. Isn't that why he was even shot? Well, okay.
Well, Cameron's mixed up with Mary, not with
Yeah.
Jen. Cameron's a part
Hmm.
of the whole Mary, Whitney, Lisa situation,
Mm-hmm.
and Meredith too. That's their storyline.
Getting my
Keeping
crooks mixed up. Oh, Lord. It's okay, Steven. All right, so this was The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 6, Episode 18, Reunion Part 1. Not a bad start, but I'm reserving
no,
full judgment.
of course child,
Yeah.
we've learned.
Yes. So come
We
back
learned.
tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, where we will talk about the salt hags in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And yes, the Popo has come for Jen, and we're here for it.
Most definitely. It's what
So,
we've been waiting for.
any final thoughts?
No, we're good.
All right. So until next time.
But of course.
All righty.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.